If you don't believe in you, how can anybody else believe in you and what you're offering?
Because you can have the best LinkedIn profile, the most polished pitch out there, the most consistent social media presence, but you're still holding back from saying yes to the opportunities that could actually change something.
Again, this is where belief comes in because the more we do it, test it in the market, not in the mind. It's so easy just to have your business behind your laptop, but your business is out there in the real world, and that's where belief is built.
It's sometimes trying lots of different things and different approaches to figure out which one lands the best and then leaning in on that. But before you can even do that, how do we even say yes to that opportunity when it comes our way?
Here's what I keep seeing with brilliant women in business, founders. She finally sits down to record that video for her marketing, and she does 17 takes because something just feels off.
I can relate. It's the same as, getting invited to speak at an event and then saying, not quite ready yet. And so you turn down the invitation.
Ooh, when will you ever be ready? Or if she shows up to the networking event and somehow undersells herself to everyone in the room, even though she could be running the room.
Yeah.
The experience, she has the experience, she has the results, she has the history, she has a great offer, but something's still getting in the way. And there's something, might be someone.
And it's not a content problem. It's not even a branding problem because that's what a lot of people love to blame it on is their brand. It's not quite there yet. It's not good enough. It's not attracting my target client. It's not even a strategy. So what is it?
Belief. It's a belief problem because you can't outmarket a shaky sense of self. If you don't believe in you, how can anybody else believe in you and what you're offering? Full stop.
Welcome. This show is for women who are done being humble and ready to be heard.
Let's do this. So, we do have a framework that we help our clients with and our community. And it's called the 6S Personal Branding Framework. And it opens with strategy. And you were just saying it's not a strategy problem. And yes and no. Because a big part of strategy is that internal why, the purpose. Strategy starts with why. Why am I doing this in the first place? Why do I care? Why is it me that needs to be solving this problem, making this impact? And that's the why, the purpose. That definitely sits firmly in strategy.
Yeah, that's true. And it's the clarity, right? The clarity for yourself about what is most important for you in your purpose, in your mission, and what's driving you to do what you do. Because when you have that level of clarity, talking about what you do and your mission is so much easier, no matter what stage you're on. I believe that.
It absolutely is. All the language comes. You are tuned into who you're working with. We talk about niching, we talk about ideal client, target market. It sounds like marketing words. And yet, when we drill down into what it really means and get it and live it, and we always say test in the market, not in your mind, because we have people who talk about their target market. Oh, I think it's this person. But have you tested it? Have you gone out and sold that product or service to that target market? I'm probably getting ahead of myself. But again, this is where belief comes in because the more we do it, test it in the market, not in the mind, don't just have your business as a solopreneur. It's so easy just to have your business behind your laptop, but your business is out there in the real world, and that's where belief is built.
Yeah, yeah, exactly right. And I think it's that spending the time to do exactly what you're talking about, to talk to your target market, to get out there more, to position yourself in a way, and then analyzing the results for yourself, even in your own personal brand. Like, how are people responding? What is connecting with people? It's sometimes trying lots of different things and different approaches to figure out which one lands the best and then leaning in on that. But before you can even do that, there's self belief, there's all the doubt and everything that comes up. what we need to build that self-belief first. So what helps us build that self-belief in ourselves to be able to even get on that stage in the first place, whether that stage is social media, on a podcast, on an actual stage as a keynote speaker, or someone who perhaps is part of a panel discussion, for example. How do we even say yes to that opportunity when it comes our way?
Yes. Just yes. That's how we say yes. Yes, thank you. And then work out how. So, it sounds simple, and it's not when fear comes up, right? And fear is the thing that protects us from getting into difficult situations and then wondering how the heck we got there. And so we say yes and work out how. It's more than just saying yes. It's say yes and work out how. It's very different to fake it till you make it. I'm not a big fan of fake it till you make it because fake feels fake. And we are big proponents of having a personal brand, which means you show yourself in your genuine, authentic way. You drop some of that mask. You don't pretend to be somebody else, or you don't perform. You're just you. You show up as you. And that energy is so wholesome and it's so attractive, so appealing. If you think about anyone who comes to mind as a memorable, charismatic person, are they being authentic? Do you feel a sense of you really kind of know them? Or are they being performative? I think the
Yeah.
ones that we really love and admire and respect and want to hang out with, spend more time with, are those who are just being themselves, genuine connection, human to human connection. So, how do you do it when it feels hard or scary? You say yes and work out how. And then the working out how is about leaning into the resources, right? Who do you have around you who can pep talk you or who can guide you to a resource that will up your confidence or your skill or whatever the gap feels like it might be for you, right? I always say grab a coach, right? Just even if it's a one-time session before a big project or a big event or a big opportunity. Because if we're not growing, you know, it's this whole conversation about the comfort zone, right? Or the familiar zone.
Yeah, it's easy to get stuck in that and just keep doing the things that feel easy, but then you stunt your own growth. You can't have growth in the comfort zone. It definitely takes some expanding it, doing the things that are hard, doing the things that are unfamiliar. I like that word much better because nothing is really hard because if other people have figured it out how to do it, so can you, right? What is stopping you from doing the same thing others have already done? Right? So it's unfamiliar. It feels uncomfortable. You might even suck at it, before the first time you do it. And it's totally fine. Do you know how many people have started social media accounts and been terrible at it until one day doing it enough, they just have that one piece of viral content that changes their entire lives? There's so many of those stories out there. The first time somebody gets on a stage to do a speech and completely blanks and forgets half their speech, it's normal. Like this is what happens. And I think once you accept that, it's just like it's like part of the price of doing the thing. Part of the price of admission is just maybe not being that good at it the first time you do it. And it's totally fine. You can refine, you can get better, you can try again, you could take a different avenue. Like especially as entrepreneurs, like sometimes you go so far down a path, it's so scary to shift off that path at all. But it might be exactly what you need to. Or maybe you have to make yourself a narrower path and go down a different niche to find the thing that really suits your true mission. And your mission might get narrower and narrower as you go along. And I think that's exactly what happens, but we're scared of that because the fear comes in of there's not a big enough target. I'm not going to make enough money. I'm not going to have enough clients. I'm not enough, right? So scarcity mindset starts setting in. And all of that leads to just inaction. And that's the hardest part is just that pushing through that out of that comfort zone and taking the action on the thing that you don't want to do, but is going to make a difference for you. And I truly believe that the more you can speak on that thing you're convicted about, that mission that you have, the more you will attract magnetically all the right opportunities, clients, customers, whatever it is you need for yourself, for your growth, for your scaling, for your business. It's the speaking on it, on whatever platform that works for you, that changes the trajectory of your business and helps it go so much faster. It's the rocket ship, right? It's the rocket ship for your business. And so many people hold themselves back. So many women wait to be perfect, to have the perfect polished video with all the B-roll and the perfect music. And if it's not perfect, what happens? They just don't post. And it's us just continuously holding ourselves back. And this is where this is what we have to work on. I've had to work on it 100%. I wouldn't be here today if I hadn't spent years working on this for myself. So it's very familiar to me now because I said yes to the unfamiliar back then.
I love that. And I love that you touched on this whole perfectionism thing because it is something that entrepreneurs, and I would dare say that women, entrepreneurs, founders, and leaders just put so much pressure on ourselves to get it right, to get it perfect. And for what? Imperfect action beats perfect inaction every time. Every time. And how can we get better at something if we're not doing it? I think about, learning the piano. I didn't learn the piano, but I think a lot of people did. Like, the first time you go to play the piano, it's going to be pretty clunky, right? And then a concert pianist started that way too. But I think what happens is we don't see those moments. We only see the moments, the celebrations, the times when we're all like, yeah, look at what we've done, or look at this success. And so how are we measuring our success? First of all, are we comparing ourselves to somebody else's progress? Well, that's mistake number one. We can only compare ourselves to our own progress. So where were we a week ago, a month ago, a year ago? Where were we? And how are we tracking based on where we used to be? Look at all the things that we've achieved and all the greatness that you've added to your industry or your world. So that's the number one, is who you're comparing yourself to. And the other thing is, what are you measuring? What is your unit of success that you're measuring? Is it that you've achieved, you've reached the top of the mountain? Well, when you reach the top of one mountain, there's another mountain that's higher that is just as attractive. You're like, oh, well, I reached this one, I'm going to go for the next one. So when will you ever be successful if you're measuring that? Why don't we measure small, realistic things that we know we can achieve day to day to day? Is it the number of phone calls? Is it the number of, I don't know, whatever that is for you? You'll work out what your measure of success is based on what your dream is. What's your mission?
Yeah. What impact are you trying to make? And are you making that impact? I think we often, and for highly ambitious women, this is a big problem because we do get to the top of one mountain and look to climb the next before even taking a moment to take in the view. I had someone ask me in an interview this week, what does success look like for you? And it really gave me a moment to pause because, on one hand, I feel like there's so much more success that I'm looking for. And then on the other hand, I looked at it in terms of fulfillment and I thought, I am so successful, right? I may not have the financial success I want yet, but the fulfillment part of success, where I have a lifestyle business that works incredibly well for me, that allows me to be, a single mom who's running multiple businesses with two kids and doing all the things, and how happy that is, like how great my relationship is with my kids, how much I can show up for them and show up for my friends and my family, and how close that all is. Like, that is massively successful. I've been able to build a massively successful business in that regard that has given me such an amazing lifestyle. Wow. And when I looked at it from that angle, it was like at the top of the mountain, like taking in the view for a second. And I'm so glad I was asked the question, because if I just wanted to look at it from one point of view, I could say, oh, that's a massive mountain I still need to climb. Like, I'm not even close to the top of the mountain I want to get to. But wow, right here is pretty amazing. So taking a minute to just take a beat and go, am I doing something that I'm super passionate about? Yeah, every day I get to show up and talk with incredible women founders about how to make themselves even more successful, how to use their voice and follow their mission and their passion and their purpose and delve deeper into that and work through challenges of self-belief like we're talking about today. And so that's so often a part of the conversation. And once you start doing that and then go, okay, well, what action can we take? What action are we taking today to get to where we want to get to? And having these in-depth conversations is just, it's incredible. I'm incredibly lucky. I'm incredibly fulfilled in that. So it's good to take a moment to think about that. And I think we all need to just take a stop, take a pause,
Yeah.
look around a little bit.
And there's a really beautiful bonus that comes with doing this, because what it is, it feeds us evidence to ourselves that we're already doing the thing, that we're already better than we gave ourselves credit for. And that's where we build self belief and self trust, right? The more we see evidence that we're doing the thing, the more we believe we can do it again, or we can do more of it, or we can take it to the next level. Yeah. So celebration isn't just about, oh yeah, stop and smell the roses. It's that and so much more. It actually is the way to build your self belief. The contrast, on the other hand, is you keep doing the thing, you keep moving the goalposts, you achieve that thing, you tick it off. I was that person not that long ago. Oh, yeah, well, I did that. Someone say, that's amazing, Vicky, look what you did. Oh, yeah, but that's what I put my mind to. So I knew I was going to do it. What else can I do? Okay. But what happens with that is the next thing I'm doing, I've got serious imposter syndrome because I don't have any evidence in my own self that I have done all these great things. I just took it for granted. It just got done. So the contrast is dangerous. It can actually stop you in your tracks if you don't take the time to recognize your achievements.
Yeah, it's so true. And I think we often forget too that other people are seeing those as well. And when we do pause and celebrate our own achievements and share it, right? I mean, we have this great platform, social media, to share achievements and things that we're proud of that we've accomplished. Other people see that too. And here's where opportunities come. I got a great example. So, host a podcast, now we're doing lives. Here we are, showing up and speaking and having conversations. And I was at an event, and the host came up to me 5 minutes before the event and said, a panelist has just dropped out. Will you join me on the panel after the presentation? I was like, wait, what? Zero preparation. I am not an expert on the topic at all, but she knew that I could speak and I would be comfortable enough standing in front of an audience. And I didn't feel like I was. I don't speak in front of audiences all the time, but I had in the past, and I do speak on a podcast. And, so there was evidence of me taking action and doing the thing that she felt confident enough to hand me a mic and say, go talk to my audience. And I did. And I said yes. And in a lot of ways, I'm glad I didn't have all the preparation, because the anxiety probably would have hit me and I would have overthought the whole thing and I would have gone down a research rabbit hole to try to be the expert, on the topic. But it really highlighted to me how just taking action and saying yes to all the other things that came before gave me that opportunity that wouldn't have come otherwise. Because she would have just found somebody else in the audience that she would have felt more likely to be capable to do the thing instead of me, which would have been absolutely fair. And I thought, how amazing is it to have said yes to all these other things that felt uncomfortable at the time to get the opportunity to do the thing. And I shocked myself how comfortable I actually felt. I got on that stage and yeah, there was some nerves. It was an audience, a big audience, but I was able to just to do the thing and to be able to speak and be able to hold a mic and be able to hopefully really help the people who are in the audience by just sharing my story, just being vulnerable and being authentic and being me. And it wasn't perfect and it wasn't polished and it was fine, and it
Mm,
opened the floor for others to be comfortable and confident to share too. And it was fine.
mm.
It was great. I didn't die. I live to tell the tale. And now I'm like, okay, what's the next opportunity? It becomes a little
Yeah.
bit of a like, oh, okay, did that. What's next?
Bit of
And
an adrenaline rush. What can I say yes to next?
yeah.
Yeah. Good on you. Good on you for saying yes. Of course you would, because you walk your talk. And you know that that's growth. And why would you say no to an opportunity when, you're also helping? You were helping your friend whose event it was, who needed somebody on the stage. You were helping the audience, knowing that you'd served them well. Like, it's just beautiful impact led. We get out of our own way and we think about who can we serve. You've often talked about that flip when we put it ourselves into speaking engagements or opportunities. If there's any nerves or self consciousness or imposter syndrome, we can flip it and say, who am I serving? What is the message? How is this message going to serve others? How can I help one other person in this room today? And when we have that focus, we fly.
And I think the thing that helps when you are in that space is what stories can I tell that are relatable, that other people can get something from. What can I teach from a story, from my own story? I think from personal experience is the best way to tell a story. But if you don't have a personal experience, what's another story that you can tell? Maybe a case study from someone in your business, or some research that you've done, some data that you're well aware of, but putting it into a story format that others can engage with, relate to, and remember and retell is super powerful. So when you are in a position that you are in a place and you're like, oh, what am I going to talk about? Start with a story. That's a big part of our system, the 6S system, storytelling. Having those stories, knowing what you're going to talk about, preparing them, practicing them, really makes that when those opportunities come, you're ready to jump off. You just need that one thing, and then everything else can flow from that. But having that story prepared is so powerful and valuable and helps make that saying yes to the opportunity a little bit easier. So that's the tip for today.
So true. So true. I love that tip. And it's one of the things that we talk about in depth and work with our members on in depth in the Re Women Founders Circle. And that's one of the 6S's in the 6S system, storytelling. It's the second one because it's a priority. It is often the foundation of so much of the rest, the socials, the networking, the you know all the things. So getting clear on your story comes after knowing your why and then being able to share your why. And there was one other thing you touched on there about belief when you were asked to do something that surprised you. And what comes to mind is this concept of borrowed belief. So you asked earlier, how do we get that self belief going? If it's just not there, we're not feeling like we're ready. Borrowed belief is a beautiful concept. If somebody trusts you enough to ask you to be part of an opportunity, it means they believe you can do it. They wouldn't put themselves in a situation to ask you to do something that would then reflect poorly on them if they didn't already trust you to do it. So borrow that belief. Take it on board. Know that they believe in you. They see something in you that you're not yet seeing in yourself, and that's okay. Go with it. Know that they believe in you and borrow that belief until you are so well practiced and familiar with the thing that you believe in it yourself. And that borrowed belief can come from community. It often does. This is why it's so important to be part of communities of people who are on the same, they're playing the same game. They're going for the same thing. Our community is incredible women founders who are looking to build, develop, and strengthen their personal brand through using the system that we provide. So Borrow the belief from your community. If you don't have a community that's specific like that, then ensure you surround yourself with people who lift you up, who do believe in you and are willing and open to share that they believe in you.
I love that,
Yeah.
partner. Absolutely. And if you want to find out more about our success system that we're talking about today and personal branding in general, we host a monthly workshop where you can come and join for free on Zoom. We'd love to have you there. Look out for the link and please join us. Come talk about this, share with us what your struggles are with personal branding. And we love to share with you all of our systems so that you can take it and run with it and go build a beautiful personal brand and reach the levels of success whatever mountains you're climbing through taking on the difficult challenges of building a brand. It's difficult, we know that, and you need support, we know that too. So come along, we'd love to see you there. And once again, partner, thank you for an amazing conversation. These light up my week and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Likewise.